Well, man, it's like you go through life thinking that you're an individual, okay? And then you realize that you're more than that, okay? We're all just one big individual, okay?
Let's get married and have a honeymoon in India.
Okay.
Welcome back to South Park in the Dark, a podcast where me and my buddy Swag are going through every single episode of South Park and talking about them to you. I almost called them the shitters, but they're the goobacks. The goobacks.
You're the goobacks.
I'm your host, Chase the Chaz Screepek, and with me as always, Swag the Swiggity Swooster, here to tear it up. What's going on, Swag?
Not much, Chase. How are you doing?
Fine.
Fine's good.
Fine's good enough.
Could be worse.
That's true.
We'll take it.
Yeah. I feel sleepy. I guess that's the in the dark portion is like, it's nighttime, so I'm a little tired. But
same. So if there's any yawning you hear on your side of this podcast, listeners, we're trying to make it more authentic.
I won't even edit those out. Usually I edit things like that out. I won't even do that.
Yeah.
We'll just keep it real.
Sleepy pod.
Sleepy pod. I mean, it's called In the Dark. What did you think you were in for?
Right.
So let's just hop right in. We got 2 episodes here tonight, like always. Both I enjoyed. I don't think either were like, I think there's usually weeks where we're like, oh, there's a clear winner this week. Both were pretty fine episodes in my mind.
Yeah, I actually really enjoyed both of them. I think I enjoyed the first one a little more.
Okay.
Because it established a major character.
There's a lot to talk about, I think, in that first one, as opposed to the other one. There are some funny things about the second one, but we are starting with Season 2, Episode 3, Ike's Wee Wee, first airing on May 20th, 1998. This one was funny. This one has layers. I feel like this one has a lot to talk about and break down.
Right from the jump. You have the all the boys, all the students in the classroom. And is this the first introduction to Mr. Mackey?
No, he was in another episode. I can't remember. A couple of them actually last season.
Okay, but they're right away they're just ripping on Mr. Mackey, and I do love ripping on Mr. Mackey. Yeah. We don't see it too much in later seasons, but boy oh boy, I am a big fan of Mr. Mackey because did you know drugs are bad? Okay?
Drugs are bad. Alcohol is bad. It's all bad. Okay. Yeah, I not that he didn't do that in the other episodes, but this was the first one that they were just like, all right, Mr. Mackey, okay. Just that back and forth, really funny. I thought this was pretty cool, because like it's another one of these episodes where I'm sure I knew it already, but like lots of episodes before the movie came out fed into the movie. Like this is a subplot that's certainly tackled a little bit in the movie, so that was kind of fun.
It seems like the past almost 5 to 6 episodes now. There's little parts in a lot of these episodes.
Little something, yeah. I don't know. I don't know how that makes me feel overall. I don't know if it makes the movie feel less original than I used to think. Not that I haven't even seen these episodes. I've seen them all before, but probably just out of order and out of context. But I like a lot of the themes behind like he comes in to talk about drugs and alcohol being bad. And like, it's a funny bit of him just being like, they're bad, okay? But like, I also think there's like a deeper layer to that of them just being like, this is all people have to say about these things. They're not bad. Like throughout the episode, you're very understanding that Trey and Matt do not view drugs or alcohol as bad. But this is how schools, especially in like the late 90s, like it was like a bunch of bullshit that just said, this stuff's bad. It's just bad. Don't do it and stay away from it.
Essentially, the DARE campaign. I promise to be drug free.
For sure.
All of it. Yeah. Drugs are bad. Okay.
Just a bunch of bullshit.
What's bad about them? They're just bad.
Kids shouldn't do them.
Yeah.
And like everybody, it feels like everybody in South Park even agrees. It's like you do that in college. Like, so you will do them eventually. They are bad, but just don't do them while you're a kid.
So yeah, the episode starts with Mr. Mackey telling kids that drugs are bad. And then someone in the classroom steals the pot that he's passing around to the class, which honestly, what a wild thing. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
It's just
hand it around, get a whiff.
Weed. Pass it on.
Was it just a joint? I was having trouble figuring out what I was looking at in the...
I think it was just like
picture.
a petri dish of like a little weed.
Okay, I thought there was like a little joint in it, but I wasn't positive.
Quite possibly.
I couldn't really tell, but nobody fesses up to it. And I'm glad they show you right away instead of like keeping that for a mystery for the whole episode and just being like, it was Mr. Garrison.
Was it Carmen? Was it Kenny?
Yeah.
Was it 1991?
Who stole the marijuana? The marijuana, as Mr. Mackey refers to it throughout the whole episode. Marijuana. I love the reveal with Garrison too, because he's watching like fucking Teletubbies.
Yeah.
And like it shows another scene later where the other people are watching Teletubbies. I agree. I mean, I think it was well known at the time, but like we still do it to this day with other shows like the modern Teletubbies, but it's just fun to get high and watch these fucking stupid shows that are made for kids and people who get high. I can't imagine they're made for anybody else.
Really? Yeah. Really though. So then we continue on that Mr. Mackey gets fired or suspended from teaching, which is getting fired. Weird little bit there they did with Principal Victoria.
It was funny. The off screen, the like young man, like because I'll admit I wasn't sure at first. I was like, I think it's gonna be Mr. Mackey, and then when it was, and he's just like, oh, I'm really sorry. He's just acting like a kid who's in trouble.
He gets canned, and thus develops our subplot of him being fired from his teaching job. Everyone shitting on him in the entire town, even his landlord. Just
dude, the landlord is so fucking funny. Oh my god! He comes
home and they just can't get into his house.
He has a line. The landlord. What does he say? He's like, having never taken drugs, I could tell that they were, or I can tell you right now that they're bad, or something like that. Like me being, I can't remember the exact line, but it was along the lines of like, as someone who's never done them, I'll tell you right now they're bad. Like you shouldn't do them. So that was funny. Just I think that was like, another jab that Matt and Trey were doing of just like the people that call this shit bad are people that have never fucking done it in their life.
And never having taken illegal drugs, I can say that they have nothing to offer.
That's it. Thank you. Very funny
it's
line.
It's a great line.
Because that's what I like about that subplot is it's a lot of like poking at that bear, and they keep giving us reasons for throughout the episode of that. But we can jump around to the main plot, which is the name of the episode, I guess, of Ike's Wee Wee. It's weird. I feel like both plots, like one's almost not a sub. Like they're both pretty.
I was just gonna say, like, what is the main plot? But I do think with the boys involved, it's probably the main plot.
Yeah, this early on, like anything with the boys is usually the main thing.
And Ike's having a party. Kyle trying to get his friends to come to the party.
Yeah,
and it's a bris.
Bris.
They asked Chef who's coming. Chef's like, what the fuck?
Why would I come to that? Chef, another voice of reason that's like, don't do drugs. There's a time and place, and it's college.
It's college.
I thought the joke was gonna be like Chef wanted the weed. I'm glad they didn't do that, but I thought that was where it was going.
Oh yeah, that's a low hanging fruit.
Yeah.
But I love the little back and forth of. You know what a bris is? What's sacred to a man? It's like the fireman.
Yeah, they all name other things that are just like probably realistically just as if not more sacred to a human life, but Kenny's the one. Oh yeah, penis. You don't call it a penis, Kenny. It's a fireman.
Carmen's like, or stands bicycles. Carmen's ham.
Yeah. Not ham, fat ass.
Yeah, and then Kenny's like, oh, it's her dick. So that was a good little bit. Mm-hmm. And then Chef just kind of fucks off through the episode.
Yeah, no song. Just that one thing set the stage. Did he tell them about circumcision? I think he did.
Yeah, I think he says like he's getting his penis cut off.
Mm-hmm. He gives him the word, and then I think Stan looks it up, and he's like, it means they're gonna chop his dick
right off.
Yeah, circumcision as they call it.
Yeah, then the boys confront the Broflovskis, the evil Broflovskis.
And they're just like, what the hell? And I love the animation of like the monster versions of them for cutting off their dick. I don't know. It's funny that they're like, the kids are kids for the most part. I don't know. But like when they need them to be more adult, they'll make them more adult. So, like, I don't understand. I don't know. Like, they really care about getting their dicks cut off. But should they? I don't know. Like, as a young boy, I knew I peed out of my dick, but did I know how important it really was? Ultimately, I don't know. That's a deep subject that we do not need to dive down in.
I mean, I think you go back to any 9, 10-year-old. We're always touching our dick. I mean, till this day, every guy touches his dick.
Yeah, but not in like a...
Not in a sexual way.
Yeah. I don't know. It could be that my edibles kicking in a little and I could just be feeling these thoughts now, but I don't know.
You'll see Sawyer grab his junk when he's 7. You'd be like, why are you doing that? And he's going to be like,
fair.
it's a toy. And you're like, it is a toy.
I guess it is. I can't call you wrong there. Yeah. I mean, that's true. I scratch my nuts pretty much every morning.
Right.
Sometimes a little too long. Dude, fuck off. Let's not. We gotta get out of there. So they concoct a plan to get Ike out of the area so he can miss his bris and not get his dick cut off. And
oh, I love this part.
There's a lot that they package into this episode.
Yeah, for where we're at right now with how Kyle just gets Ike out of there is one of my favorite things. Just puts him on a train to Nebraska. And he just fucks off.
And he just kind of throws him. I love that nobody knows like what he is. It's like, what is that, a garbage can? He's like, it's my little brother.
This is one of the episodes that, that holler laughter, like when the Broflovskis go to find Ike.
Mm-hmm.
And he's in the fucking bar. Just a table.
Just a table stand.
Just an object. That's one of these moments where I'm like, I fucking like just got me really good.
Yeah, because he got like rescued in a way by those people. It seemed like, and then he's just holding up a table at a bar.
Yeah.
But like within this, before that it all comes about, you have, because it's like for a long time the plot line is Ike is getting circumcised and they're trying to stop it because they don't understand it. And then they twist in Ike is adopted. We kind of get the Ike is adopted reveal, and you get the Kyle doesn't believe him as his brother. There's like 8 minutes left in the episode and Kyle's like, that's not my brother anymore. And they throw in another layer to the plot that we have to kind of overcome to get through the episode, which is, Kyle accepting adoption and that he is his brother regardless.
Oh, right, because
he has a great... Okay, yeah, we jumped ahead. Sorry about that. When Kyle makes a prop dummy out of bones to be Ike, and a dog grabs it from their house, takes it out onto the road, and then gets hit by a car that explodes. So Ike dies. His mom and dad think he's dead. Look at me explaining the plot. Sorry, I'm taking over your position.
No, you're good.
And they have a funeral for him, and on Ike's tombstone is a Canadian leaf, a Canadian maple. And Kyle doesn't understand. So we get the reveal all kind of at once. Ike's Canadian. Ike's an adopted Canadian. He's 2 years old. And Kyle, who knows he's not dead, is pissed off. He's like, he's not even my brother. They throw in the old, he's not even my insert step or adopted child problem topic here.
Oh wow, Ike's got a very Jewish name. Ike Moishe Broflovsky. His middle name is Moishe. Born a Canadian, died in America at 96 to 98. Jesus. That's so bad.
But he didn't really die. So
no, you know who did die though?
Kenny. Yeah.
Kenny died.
Which always a surprise. I'm like, are they gonna kill him again?
Just fucking falls into the cemetery, has the tombstone fall on top. I
love that, like, they just move, like, they go from Ike's funeral and immediately start doing Kenny's funeral right on the spot because he fell into somebody else's grave and the tombstone fell on him and killed him. And I think what does Father, I almost called him Father Mackey, but Father Maxey say? He said he's like giving a little speech at the funeral, and he says something like, as some Jewish guy once said, and then just gives like a quote. So I thought that was funny. Some Jewish guy, because he is the Catholic priest, but he is concocting the Jewish funeral.
Right.
Funny little catch. Ooh, Kick the Baby returned since the premiere. First time we've seen it since the premiere.
Yeah, big fan of Kick the Baby.
Kicks him right into the train.
I gotta say, Kyle is great at Kick the Baby.
Good aim. Yeah. Good aim on that boy.
Like a little Lionel Messi.
Sure.
We're going to jump back into the kind of subplot that
Yes.
might be the actual plot.
Yes, I do. I think I have a lot more to say about the subplot. So to get into the meat and bones of this one. So since Mr. Mackey got fired, he turns to all sorts of things as he goes down his road. He goes to the bar, gets a beer, his first beer in what seems to be a long time. I enjoyed his little inner, what the fuck is the word? His subconscious? Is that the word I'm looking for?
Inner thoughts?
His voice of reasonings.
Oh, the devil and angel.
Yes, and they're both like, have a beer. Like even the angel's like, have a beer, man. Like, what's the difference?
You got fired.
You might as well have a drink. And he gets drunk. I really enjoyed Drunk Mackie. That's when we meet the landlord. But him just walking around.
Well, it's so funny because he got drunk and has a 5 o'clock shadow.
Yes.
He's just a bum.
Immediately.
Yeah, and then he finds his way to the forest?
Is that no. First he falls asleep on the streets because he lost his house. He falls asleep on the streets. So he's gone from getting drunk, and then the hobo offers him some weed, and he smokes it. And as he gets high, he starts seeing things a little nicer, and he just goes, "Ooh, baby, get down." Ooh, baby, you gotta do it in the Mackie voice. So like,
the hobo's like, "Oh no, oh wow."
So Mackie's discovering drugs, and he's just having a good time with it. And I mean, we're kind of watching this. It seems like he should be at the bottom, but his life is getting better. Like he's just happier.
Yeah,
because he ultimately meets his ex-students who give him LSD.
Yeah. Jesus, the guy sure says legalize everything.
Oh my God.
These two people show up, and I feel like everyone knows these two people in their life.
Yeah.
You had friends in high school like that. You had friends in college like that.
You definitely had friends in college like that. They have a look. They have a look to them that almost is exactly what these people even look like in real life. They're unsuspecting looking almost. Like you're almost surprised they do LSD, but you're also kind of like, yeah.
It's like almost just like this unkept of a person.
Yeah.
They just kind of go with the flow, which the flow Mackie goes.
It sure does.
His head just floats.
Yeah, I don't know how to really take all that because I'm assuming it's just what he's seeing because when he talks to the kids, they don't see it at all.
Yeah, I do enjoy it.
He becomes a little balloon.
Yeah, it's just, hey, boys.
Yeah, I wish I would have wrote more things that he was saying as he was like going through because a lot of his lines, his quotes were really funny.
Are you boys staying out of trouble?
He just becomes a full blown. I don't even know what to call him. Like I don't think he's a hippie, but he's not a hippie. And he meets that woman, and she asks him if he wants to come over and finger paint. And he just is like, finger painting's cool. I cracked up.
Yeah, he really did become a hippie.
And but this is what I'm saying. Like he then goes to a different country. His face becomes very normal. He seems healthy. His life got way better. He met like the love of his life through this other hippie woman. Yeah, I just think it was just another into the dive of like Matt and Trey are not anti-drug, anti-alcohol. It's so much so that like thanks to these things, Mackie was able to turn his life around.
Yeah.
Even though he lost his job, he was so happy. And then the people of South Park just decided to come save him with members of the A-Team.
I mean, was his life turned around, or was he just forced to come back?
Oh, he was.
It seems like
he was forced to come back. No, I'm saying his life had turned around because he was with the woman he loved and he was on adventures. Oh yeah. And they take that from him by turning him back into drugs are bad. They take him to rehab. He just learns drugs and alcohol are bad again. He gets his face. They tighten his tie and it makes his face big. I'm just saying, when he was on the drugs, he was happy. His face was normal. He was in love. A lot of good things were going on there, and they took it back from him. And it's just funny because Mr. Garrison had the power. Like, I didn't know if that's where the plot was going to go. I feel like a more modern version, if we go to like how South Park is now, a more modern version of this plot is Garrison steals the weed. There's an entire storyline of what's going on with Mr. Garrison until he admits that he's the one, and that's how Mackie gets his job back. But they both have like a really weird, fucked up story with this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just feel like that's what South Park would do now, modern South Park.
Yeah.
But not so much for this one. Garrison just shows up at the end with the rest of the A-team, and who else is there? Principal Victoria and Jimbo. Because he's fighting, he's arguing with Jimbo when he's a hippie. Oh my God. Calling out the guns. Really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I think this episode was just a lot of fun all around. Just these little things like when Ike is getting circumcised. It's a Canadian circumcision tool.
Right.
So
yeah, it's a make-believe. Yeah. Really funny. They make a point of showing it. I love that guy that shows up. And she's like, "You're not invited." And he's just like, "I never miss a bris."
Yeah.
Just a guy that's down to go to these fucking things as if they're a real thing. I don't know. Are they a real thing?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
I take your word for it, man.
I looked it up.
You would used to know.
I used to know.
Yeah.
I forgot, but I had to look it up. But yeah, brises are things. I don't think they're to the celebration that the show made it to be, or I mean, maybe they once were.
Sure.
But there is a timeline that they are done. And I find that interesting. Like if it's the 8th day, but if it's on like a Sunday evening, it gets kind of a little wonky. Wow. It's a whole thing.
Whole thing. Wow, history lesson. Huh.
Oh.
What?
I just found something in the episode.
Sure thing.
So not jump to the next episode, and we're not going to jump just quite yet, but I noticed that the next episode, the letters are scrambled above
the blackboard,
above the chalkboard. Yeah. And I was thinking that was just kind of just to make fun of the main characters in the next episode who couldn't read. However, I just realized why they did that, because bastard is just written out right in the middle.
Huh. I have to double check on that one.
Yeah, I'm looking at right at the end of where
that's
Mackie's
funny.
back with Garrison.
Dude, once again, South Park kills
bastard.
it with just, especially these earlier episodes of just like visual things like that aren't prominent, but they're there, and if you catch them, they're funny. You get a better laugh out of it. That's
speaking
cool.
of like little quirky things, and the artwork in the classroom, the board says, "What will I become?" And someone drew Satan. Someone just drew Satan.
I didn't see that. Any aliens? Any alien watch?
No aliens in this one.
Fucking hell. That's one of our greatest segments, Alien Watch, and now we've lost it.
I know.
We'll keep it up.
They've been pretty dormant.
Don't worry, viewers. We'll be with you the whole time. We're looking for the aliens. The government won't hide them from us forever. I like how the issue gets resolved ultimately about the circumcision, because they're just like, oh, we're just going to trim it up so it looks bigger. And everybody's just like, oh, yeah, definitely. Well, could I get one? All about making it look
having their brisses.
Chop my dick off, as far as they know, as long as it makes it look bigger. So that was a funny way to like. South Park really brings it together like right at the end, but in a very not like come on type of way.
I wrote down Carmen at one point says rubbing the fireman spits in your eye, and I'm looking. Oh,
I wrote that down as well.
If you rub his helmet, he spits in your eye.
And like he doesn't flat out say it in this one, but throughout other episodes he's been like, my mom said that, now without him saying it that that's who he's getting this information from.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So that's kind of funny. His mom, his dad, whatever they are. There was one Mr. Mackey gives a speech after he has sex with that girl, and they're on some drugs at this point, I don't know what, and he's just talking about, I used to think I was an individual, and we're all just one big individual, okay? I don't know, just that trippy dippy shit they made him say was really funny. I wish I would have got what he said when he was drunk, because I laughed out loud in public multiple times because of this episode. Oh, one other thing I just wrote down that I forgot to address, and it's really nothing, but I liked when Miss Crabtree drove the bus away. She just fucking shouted for like as she drove off, dropped them off, totally normal. Nobody acknowledges it really. It just happens.
Yeah, she just screams.
That cracked me up. But that's all I got for this one.
I got one more thing in this trivia bit. So going on to the bastard thing in the alphabet, it's actually it's all the letters are wonky because it's Dios Neo all en mata. Yeah, I'm gonna fuck that up. But it says, "Oh my God, they killed Kenny, you bastards," in Spanish.
Oh, well, that's pretty
Yeah.
fun. That is fun. That is fun trivia. Thank you for that.
I mean, that's fucking awesome. But yeah, to end this episode, so one thing I wanted to share that I found out just before watching this episode is that they're releasing 4 more Funko Pop of South Park.
Oh, okay.
There's probably about like 10 to 16 of them right now, but there's 4 more coming out. One being Mr. Mackey with the sign that says "Drugs are bad."
Wow.
And I kind of want it. I think it'd be a great collection to just my desk.
Yeah, I need to look in. I don't have any pop figures of the South Park characters, but I would like to at least have a couple.
I would say they're not too impressive. There's very few of them.
I think I've seen the Stan one. I think I've seen it because it's kind of simple, but that's the beauty of the pops. I'll definitely look into it though. Did you also see they announced the new video game, the Snow Day?
There's a new one.
There's another one coming out, so that'll be fun. I know we have plans to talk about the video games, but
oh wow,
I was looking at my video game schedule actually for the year, and there's a really good gap between like now and mid-March till I have like another big game that I really want to play. So this could be a good time to maybe start playing the first one and then schedule a time to talk about that. Neither here nor there.
Go for it. I have a lot of other shit to do.
Yeah.
I just killed the owlbear again, so that was fun.
Yeah, that'll keep you busy for all. You've played the first South Park game though, right?
I played both, yeah.
Okay, so you don't really. I just want to play through them to like. You could probably just like watch it on YouTube or something.
Yeah, I'll watch a speed run and remember everything.
Cool. I'm excited. So I'm gonna try to work on that throughout the month and a half.
The first one's quick.
Cool. Good.
The first one you can breeze.
I like a nice quick game. I just finished playing a really long fucking game.
Hello, kids. I see you're discovering the magic of reading.
Who are you?
I drive the Booktastic bus, where magic begins. You see, reading opens up whole new worlds to you. You can take a canoe down the Amazon, or go back in time to Camelot, or become a race car driver, all by just opening a book. Just like magic, the magic of reading.
God, shut up, dude.
Okay, so let's get into the next episode. We are moving on to Season 2, Episode 4, Chickenlover, first airing on May 27th, 1998. This episode was goofy as fuck. I hadn't seen it in a long time, but I still remembered basically all the beats. You had said last time that you didn't think you had seen this one before. Did you remember it when you saw it, or was this the first time?
So again, working from home occasionally, and in South Park's just on daily now,
Sure.
from like 10 to 3, and they'll just rotate through. I've seen at the beginning at this at least, and a little bit in the middle. So this wasn't too unfamiliar to me, but there are definitely parts of it that I was like, oh, did not see that coming.
Yeah. Right out the gate, this one, it made me laugh because they're on a bookmobile. The bookmobile driver is just this fucking lunatic of a man.
Yeah.
Just a real freak.
And like, you just kind of have an idea, like, all right, this guy is going to be a part of this episode.
Well, yes.
This guy is fucking out there.
Dude, and it just hit me because, like, I have to laugh because I am a bookmobile driver. Like, he is me.
Oh, that's
I'm that
fucking
guy
hilarious.
In real life, but I'm not that guy. Like, I'm not
man,
that guy
your
at all.
Halloween costume.
But immediately I was like, oh, this is, I forgot about, I knew what the story was, but I forgot about him specifically. I didn't even write his name down. I don't remember what it was, but he was the bookmobile driver, and he was a fucking freak. That's the only word I have for him.
Does he have any? I thought it was just bookmobile.
It might be. I didn't really look too hard into it. But ultimately, the story of this episode, Swag, you explain the plot. I took it from you in the last one.
Ah, man, you're good. But the story begins again with the bookmobile, but it transitions quickly to Officer Barbrady recording for cops.
Yeah.
It's just no background to that. That just comes in that it's just recording for cops.
And you almost think that it could be like he's just doing it and it's just how South Park's doing it, but then like no, the film crew, the show is there. They are doing cops in South Park. We're gonna go film some stock footage of turtles.
Yeah. And Officer Barbrady's on a big case. Somebody's been raping the chickens. Which is You ultimately see him like be embarrassed by this. He's like, "Oh, this is my town."
Yeah.
But then that embarrassment is the worst things because there is a clue to the raping of the chickens, and he can't understand the clue.
All fucking garbage.
Yeah, we quickly learn that Officer Barbrady can't read anything.
Cannot read. Can't read anything.
Yeah.
Stop signs. How it all changes. Oh my god, when he orders that food, and they're like, "Sure, but one problem, sir. We're a bank."
Yeah.
I knew that.
And it just quickly he just resigns because he's so anxious and nervous. He's just so upset about he can't read.
Yep.
And the whole town goes to anarchy.
Immediately. Like,
Immediately. He's the only guy keeping it together.
You didn't know that he was like capable of really doing much, because all we've ever seen him do in the show is basically nothing.
Yeah.
Soon as he's gone, people are fucking rioting in the streets. Yeah, that was I enjoyed this one. This was one that it's so old, but I haven't seen it in a long time, but it's one of those ones that just reminds you of like, here's some of South Park's classic moments in one episode.
With this anarchy, it's really funny to watch as like everything evolving, where they're talking on the news with the anarchy. And then some guy comes into the studio, steals the anarchy sign, and then another guy comes in and just steals the 4 from Channel 4 News.
As he's live on the air.
Yeah. And then it clips to people in the town just breaking into shit, and there's 2 guys just throw another guy through a window, and they just steal a TV.
Madness.
They all 3 that just steal a TV. So yeah, Barbrady is the glue to this entire town. The mayor's freaking out. The mayor kind of sucks early on.
Oh yeah,
She always sucks.
She probably does always suck. We probably just didn't really notice it, but I think they made her suck a little less down the road. Mm-hmm. They make Barbrady go to school so that he can learn how to read. And he ends up in Mr. Garrison's class, of course.
I need to go poopies.
Little something. Immediately. You can go before or after class. I think even with this last episode and this episode, we've seen it kind of evolve throughout the series. I think they're getting more comfortable with it, and you can see it in season 2 that they are really expanding on their side characters. Like, this is an episode where we get to know Barbrady. Last episode was one where we got to go know Mr. Mackey. The premiere was getting to know Terrence and Phillip. Like, the show's kind of letting loose and letting us get to know more than just the boys. And I like that. I like that because, like, it's just it's fun seeing, like, and getting to know all these characters that all have a story to tell. I mean, it's the whole reason we're doing this podcast. We're watching the evolution of characters. But to watch something's evolution, you have to see where it starts. And I'm loving that.
Yeah, I agree.
He can't read. And Mr. Garrison says, "What a retard."
Dude.
That early 90s comedy.
Teaching.
So fucking funny. I'm so not ready for it. I think I've been so fucking desensitized or sensitized that when I hear retard be said, I'm like, oh, this was allowed on television at one point. Nice.
Like, try again, dumbass.
Cannot read to save his life. So I liked when it was cutting in between stuff going on with Officer Barbrady and the kids, and it would show like another chicken getting fucked. The shadow in the one scene, the guy says, "What are nice chickens like you doing in a coop like this?" I just thought that was a zinger. I was like, okay, that's fucking funny. And he proceeds to rape more chickens. Or fuck them. It's hard to say. I think some chickens are raped, but I think some chickens, there are moments where the chickens are like, I'd like a little action. Just saying. Just my analysis.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think the chickens wanted it just a little bit.
Just a little bit, yeah. Thank you.
There.
Okay.
But yeah, it goes back to the classroom and they're doing the book reports.
Oh my god. Carmen's just like, book. Have you ever read it? Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe? No? Just fucking makes shit up. Mr. Garrison just calls him right out. And then Barbrady basically says nothing and he's just like, A+.
Go dog go.
Yeah, it's go dog go, and he starts explaining it and he gets caught right in the middle and he's just like, I give up, and still passes. I liked, there was a part where he was trying to read something at one point and he's just like, muh, muh, muh. And Kyle looks at it, he's just like, I? That's what people that can't read are fucking like, dude. I've taught that it's true. It's like,
Oh, really?
Oh, dude, totally. Yeah.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah. They get it, but like the fact that they struggle, you're just like, dude, how the fuck are you struggling?
Sound it out.
I've never been a big fan of people that can't read, man. I was a little, nicer about it when I was a teacher, but
you were a fucking teacher. That's a great line.
But when I was in school and like they called on somebody they could not fucking read, I was just like, oh my god, they're gonna kill it. We're gonna be here forever. I hated people that couldn't read. Drove me nuts.
Oh, so they stumbled over words, you'd be pissed.
Oh, because like you knew they weren't just stumbling over one; they were stumbling the whole fucking way through, and it's like they got the two biggest goddamn paragraphs in the science book. And you're like, oh fuck, here we go.
Interested. I don't think popcorn reading does anything for anybody. I don't think people just
creates anxiety. Honestly,
yeah,
it just creates anxiety.
It's public speaking, but it's just public speaking on the fly.
I really enjoyed it though. Like if we played popcorn and somebody called me, like I wanted to read.
Well, yeah, you also ran through like Naruto and like the mile. So
shut the fuck up with that shit.
All right, like you were just a weird kid.
No. That's not
true.
Your
friends were band kids.
Nobody.
You were the wannabe band
I
kid.
only became friends with the band kids after high school.
You were the theater kid who didn't do theater.
True. That I'll give you.
I feel like that kind of
running around like Naruto. I will not give you, but that I will give you. Not to say I never ran like Naruto, but not to the extent that you say.
Oh, but you did.
But I mean, at least a little bit, like funny, like jokingly. Shut up. All right, moving on with South Park. This was the first... Oh, what?
I was going to say, we're moving into the point where Barbrady recruits the boys to help him solve the case.
That's where I wanted to go next, too.
Yep.
Because we get the start of a very well-known Cartman line in this episode, which is, respect my authority. This is the first time, and it is there are t-shirts with this quote. There are things to this day that still say that.
I mean... They become deputies and Cartman just
goes full fucking. It's like the episode he goes Dog the Bounty Hunter. He goes 100%. He's a
great
cop.
episode. I haven't seen that one in a while.
Yeah, me neither, man. I can't wait.
Dog's white. Just bullshit.
He sings the music. Oh my god.
I am the dog. Okay.
Yeah, this is kind of like the very similar though, because he goes full blown fucking cop. He's on cops. He's whacking people with the stick. Randy away.
He goes to Kenny's house.
Beats up Kenny's parents. Oh my god, Kenny's house.
So Cartman's doing Cartman things. The other three. Oh yeah, he pulls over Stan's dad.
He pulls over Randy, beats him with a stick. I do like when he goes to Kenny's house and Kenny's dad explains like everybody that's in the house, and Cartman just turns to the camera and goes, "Poor people tend to live in clusters."
That is hard.
Yeah, dude, that was funny.
For some of the people I work with.
Ooh, yeah.
I know some people.
Totally.
It's a divorced couple who are both living in the same house with their new partners.
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting situation.
Yeah.
I'm like, that line just hit me real hard.
It's a funny line. It's a really funny line, and the fact that he's saying it like on television to these people on camera, even funnier.
I was like, this is true.
So good. So that's all going on. It kind of splits the plot into like shit Cartman's doing and like or Officer Barbrady learning how to read. Cartman dresses up as a prostitute and gets a guy for that. Yeah, he goes all in, and I really dug it. But ultimately, Barbrady figures out how to read. He reads the word taxidermist, right?
Yeah, he gets to taxidermist.
And boom, he can read, so they know where to go to solve who the chicken fucker / lover, if the kids are around, is.
Yeah, but they do say chicken fucker on the news, which I think is hilarious.
They say chicken fucker quite a bit before they change it back to chicken lover. I enjoyed that.
All right, they're at the petting zoo and the chicken gets fucked.
Yes, the guy just they turn around for like 1 second and he grabs it, and Bar Brady jumps in. He pulls him out, and it's a guy wearing a Richard Nixon mask. And he's just like, "I knew it was you, Richard Nixon." I think Stan or Kyle's like, "Dude, I think that's just a mask." And who is the chicken lover, Swag? Is it Mr. Garrison? Haffy?
God damn it, Happy. You don't have any legs.
Or the 1989 Denver Broncos.
But yeah, I mean, then this episode just finishes off like, yep, this one zany character you knew was just going to be probably the bad guy once they introduced kind of a bad guy role. And when ultimately, though, he was doing good. So was he a bad guy?
He was a weird guy. He was a freak, as I already labeled him at the beginning of this talk. He was a freak. He was just an even weirder freak. I like how they drew in his lips. The whole look of the character. Real freak. Totally believe he's a guy that fucks chickens. Hurts me on the inside to know that he is the bookmobile driver.
But I mean, anybody who's gonna fuck, who's gonna spend that much time in a van is gonna be a freak.
Dude, fuck you. But I hate to say you're not entirely wrong either. I'll tell you what, hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours in a van all day, every day, it changes you a little. Just a little.
You gotta keep yourself busy.
I have become a very uselessly productive human. As in, I do a lot of shit that means nothing. But I do a lot of shit.
That's all you gotta do. As long as it's something.
Yeah.
The next thing you know, you'll just go postal and shoot up the entire library.
Or fuck a chicken, which is what's going on in this episode. So they kill that guy. Like, he's dead by the end of the episode. There's also the subplot of like things killing Kenny and not killing him. There's like a car that falls on him, but he crawls out of the door.
Oh, right.
He gets shot, but it just grazed his arm. And there was one.
I had check marks of every time that Kenny dies. Kenny Big dies.
But one am I missing? I feel like there's one more.
There's 3.
Yeah.
I mean, is it while Cartman's there? Maybe not. No, the boys standing.
He gets shot, he gets hit by a car, and then there's something else that happens. That doesn't something hit him and he like flies into a wall like really hard.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I don't remember what exactly, but it's something like that. I do like on the last one that like Stan goes to say, "Oh my god, they killed," and he's mad about it that he's not dead. He's like, "Oh jeez." So they're having fun with the bit. I don't remember how the bookmobile guy dies because they don't kill him. They don't just shoot him. Oh, I think Cartman. They beat him in the head with the billy club.
Yeah.
Cartman hits him in the leg, and Bar Brady's like, "No, that's not how you do it. You gotta hit him in the head so they go right down." Yeah. I don't know if he's dead, but there was a lot of blood coming out of that bush.
That's not how you uphold the law. It's just crack.
Dude, there was a line that he said at the beginning of the episode when they're figuring out he can't read, and he's like, "If you don't comply, you're gonna get a gunshot to the head." He threatens to just shoot all the civilians. And now to know that he beats people in the head with billy clubs, Officer Bar Brady is a very serious cop, and that's probably why all that anarchy started so quickly, because they were like, the dude that would have shot us for nothing is fucking not here. We can do this now. We really brought that full circle.
And did you catch who was driving the truck at the end of the parade?
It was Jesus.
It was Jesus.
It was Jesus Christ. Yeah. The whole parade for Bar Brady learning how to read, and Jesus is driving the moat. Kenny gets hit by a tree, I believe. A tree falls on him and kills him finally at the end. Because it was funny, going into the end, it was just showing Stan, Kyle, and Cartman, and I was like, wait, I thought I was going to have to rewind. I was like, did they then kill Kenny at one point? And just as I was thinking that, they showed him clapping off site and getting hit by a tree and dying. Bravo.
Oh, yeah, they don't let you forget.
Bar Brady in that freeze frame before that scene where he's just like waving the kids goodbye and people are just walking by him. They give him Atlas Shrugged and he's like, "This book is absolute bullshit." And I mean, I think that sums up that episode.
Yeah, I'm just going over my notes here.
Yeah.
Sure, I got everything.
Yeah. But I mean, that episode, I feel like it didn't have as many deep subjects to talk about, but it did have like funny shit to talk about. Like, I have less notes for this one, but...
And I think the plot, wasn't as extravagant as the last episode with like the double plots going on.
Mm-hmm.
So it seemed like a quick episode to me, at least.
Yeah, both were pretty... That's what I mean. They were both very quick episodes. Yeah, I I always like talking about it after, because like these were episodes that as I was watching them I did like I thought were funny, but I didn't think I thought they were as funny as I feel when I'm talking about it. It's like my brain had to like sit on all these jokes a little longer to be like, oh no, that was really funny.
The only thing that kind of caught me in a weird spot of this episode was, if you really think about it, we didn't know Bob Brady couldn't read until after the first chicken was fucked.
Correct.
So he was raping the chickens to help Bob Brady to read.
Right. I mean, it's a good move. He definitely was he had good intentions. I'd say he was a good guy. Oh, yeah.
It's just kind of
that's true weird.
Too. Like, he just knew.
Maybe he knew. Maybe he knew. I mean, we as an audience may have just found it out. South Park as a community might have just saw it, but it could be one of those things that this guy just noticed about somebody in his town. That cop can't fucking read, and so yeah, I think we brushed upon like his morality, and I'm just like, I think he's still a good guy. He's just a really, really weird guy.
Hey, man.
I don't think I am the person who has the authority to say whether or not fucking a chicken is good or bad. But I will say that it's certainly weird. It's the actions of a freak.
Yeah, I think fucking a chicken is
but not a bad guy.
On my moral compass, I'm going to say fucking a chicken's bad. But that's just me personally.
Okay.
You know, this is a free country. Well, depending on your gender. So, you know, you can do what you want to do, but I personally don't want to fuck a chicken.
Me neither.
Hey, you're in a band all day. If you want to go that route, hey man, you do you.
There are these chickens in Grampian. There were some ducks this one time as well.
Ooh.
Yeah.
No, fucking duck story.
Yeah.
Quack, they got some cool street mix.
Ooh.
All right, Chase, we got to finish the episode with one topic in particular.
Sure.
And you don't know what's coming.
I guess not.
I'm going to drop this on you.
Okay.
There was an article published recently, actually 2 days ago. South Park's creators wishes he could permanently delete 3 seasons.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Yeah. It's on Unilad. Ooh. I'm not sure what Unilad is or how relevant Unilad is.
No idea. Never heard of it.
But it's interesting. I'm not sure if I don't think they were interviewed by this piece. It's like, who the fuck are them? Oh, Entertainment Weekly interview.
So and they said they would delete 3 entire seasons?
Yep.
Did they say which one?
They did. And I think this is more of a passing comment in the Entertainment Weekly interview.
Mm-hmm.
But not like a series, but like this article obviously focuses on this whole quote.
I'll look into it.
Parker said in an interview with Entertainment Weekly, if I had to permanently erase anything from the library, it would basically be anything before season 4.
Oh, fuck. They'd get rid of all of these initial ones.
Yeah. Wow. Which, you know, it doesn't change my feeling on these episodes, but it is surprising, I would say. Because I don't think they push the envelope too much.
I think you have to look at those episodes to them, not as that they think they're any less quality-wise in a way, but as, you know, as their creators. Like, there are old episodes of Nerd Shit in the Dark that I sent you that, like, I would not put out. I am definitely, like, nobody needs to listen to this. I'm not ashamed of them. I agree with everything I said in them. It's just they're so, we've learned so much since we started that it's just like, don't show the old shit. And like, to them, I bet like it's hard for them to watch those old years because like they weren't there in their heads just yet. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. Well, and I think they were 26 or 27 at the time.
Exactly.
And for the late 90s, you know, like you said earlier, saying a retard on television was something you could do.
That goes on for a while.
Yeah,
they probably still throw it out from time to time, honestly.
They probably drop it
every once in a while. There's an entire episode where they say the N-word countless times. So they don't care. And people love it. It's like
that's gonna be a
black people love it. Can't wait to get that. That's so far
It's
off.
Still very well memed, that episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought it was an interesting part of this article. I wanted to
I did not know about it at all. But I feel like you gotta look at it that way. Like not that they hate it because they think story-wise it's useless, but it's probably just like cringy and hard for them to watch.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where I would like to see it taken in more context, where it's just based on this one quote, this entire article, but where that quote's coming from is a whole other interview.
I'd like to read through all of that. I'll look into it. Keeps me from doing anything crazy while I'm sitting on the van.
Yeah, maybe see a duck fly past.
I'm gonna be in Grampian tomorrow, actually. So
there you go. Careful.
That's where they
Ring
are.
protection. All right, but Chase, that's all I got.
No Alien Watch. I just wanted to double check on that. Nothing.
No Alien Watch.
Okay.
Yeah, there's got to be an alien database somewhere that we can actually, check.
I think it's more fun to watch you try and find it.
Yeah, I need to look more intently.
If you can't find them in the beginning, like maybe check and see if you just missed one. But at least try the first time for you to find.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
yeah.
That's what I'm like. Oh, where did I miss that? Then I would go back and like, all right, there it is. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
I need to develop better strategies.
Yeah. All right, then. I think that we have more than covered these 2 episodes. Thanks for stopping by again and listening to South Park in the Dark. We're on everywhere podcasts are available. Follow us at Nerd Shit in the Dark Entertainment, blah, 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 every Wednesday. Check us out. Like, follow, subscribe. And we'll catch you guys on the next one. Toodles.
Well, screw you guys. I'm going home.